Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be back with you again today, and let's see what we can do here today. We're playing against Green Bay again. They're in 11th place, which means this should be a pretty easy victory. In fact, I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if we really should have that Maile starting or if we should put somebody else up there in front. We're playing against the Defuna Jets afterwards and then Pago Youth. And knowing what I know about these clubs, I'm guessing that... we should probably save. So we'll probably put in some scrubs there against the Defuna Jets and then hit Pago Youth with our first team. And so that's the way we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and keep these guys in and see how we do. So hopefully this will be a match. It will be a somewhat easy victory for us, but you never know what's going to happen. That's the reason why they play the games, and that's what they say. You don't play games on paper. If that were the case, we would have won the league last year, and that certainly didn't happen. So let's see what we can do here today. I guess I told them, the press, that, I could deal with a break. I'm not sure if I could really deal with a break because we just had a break. We just had a considerable break here a couple of weeks ago for what I'm guessing was an international break or something like that. I don't know, but we had over 2 weeks off, which you don't feel much because you're not watching me click the continue button. But boy, I sure felt it because all of a sudden every aspect of the story stopped for a period of time. And it takes a little while to click through to the other side. But we've made it, and here we are kicking off. It's over to Palipua. Palipua with it, and he dances around. No one even close to him. Over to Tiatia. Tiatia with it. Over, takes it up on the right side. Tiatia back to Palipua, looking for those overlaps. Didn't quite happen, and that's the end of that highlight. Tualalele now with it, knocks it forward up, looking for Maile, who I think was offside. Tiatia with it here again, and he's going to pull it up on the right side this time, and he passes over to Atu, and that was a good attempt. I'm telling you, this Atu kid over on the left attacking midfielder side is good. Milani with it over to Loke. Loke looking up forward, down to Kaleopa, and he lumps this one forward for Maile, who gets ahead on it. And though that wasn't really a strong attempt on goal, that was definitely better than nothing. Tualalele goes back and wins this one, knocks it forward to Kaleopa, who beats his man. Very, very good job by Richard. He knocks that one forward over to Maile, who has another header, another chance on goal, and that one unfortunately just goes over the bar. And so we're looking pretty good. We've had a couple of good chances, good quality chances here so far, but unfortunately nothing has gotten through, and they seem to have gotten through, and Tualalele has given up a penalty, and that was a really poor and unnecessary challenge by him. We're about to go down 1-0 to Green Bay, which is ridiculous because they're awful, and instead Ikuvalu is able to get this save, and we have to get it out, and we are just able to do so. Atu is able to head that one out, and Kaleopa heads this over to the side. He should have let that one go through, and this is a really, really good save by Ikuvalu. Look at that. Look at that, man. And boy, oh boy, that's about as close as it can get. And so we have saved a penalty. Green Bay are the worst team in the league, and it would be really embarrassing to go down to them at any single point of time in this match. Tiatia with it now, over to Loke. Loke look for Atu, to Maile. Maile to Milani. He should look for Atu. Atu was about to have a run over there. All you have to do is thread a little bit of a pass, and you can find him. I've taken off a lot of those instructions that I had before, so we're not worrying so much about playing such a direct game. We're just going to let these guys play the way that they feel like they should play. Kaleopa with it lumps this one forward, looking for Atu, and can't quite find him that time. And it ends up with Green Bay, but we win it in midfield again. Milani with it, and he has it taken straight off of him. He lost possession too easily there. Ikuvalu over to Tualalele. Tualalele playing a little bit too fast, finds Toa Maile over to Milani, to Loke. Loke up to Richard Kaleopa, and that's knocked back to Tiatia, who knocks that one forward, and he finds Atu, whose header is just over the top. That was a great centering pass there by Tiatia. And Tiatia is another one of those players who looks absolutely awesome. Tualalele runs back and grabs this one, almost knocks it out for a corner. It was ridiculous. Over to Milani, and then down to Kaleopa here on this side. I don't remember his first name. It's kind of hard to keep all these names straight. And unfortunately, we've given up possession, and Ikuvalu is just able to get his hands onto that one, knock the one over the bar. So we've looked for moments like being completely dominant, and we just give up possession in midfield like there's nothing to it. Which makes me wonder if maybe I've given these players a little bit too much freedom. Ikuvalu runs over and grabs that cross before it does any damage. Ikuvalu having a great match, and we're having good performances by guys. It's just maybe a little bit too early. I don't know. Atu walks back and lumps this one up forward, and it goes over everybody's head. And that Kaleopa looks like he may have been injured, and instead he's sort of limping his way down. There he goes. Now he's got a head of steam, and he goes and he wins the ball. How about that? Over to Rock. Rock Kalliope with it now. Rock, one of the team leaders, over to Tiatia. Tiatia lumps this one forward, and that was a good idea, but Atu didn't know what he was going to do. Loke with it, down to the other Kalliope, number 3. So we've had 3 Kalliopes touch the ball. Back to Atu, over to Kalliope again. Knocks that one forward, looking for Maile. Can't find him. And it's over to Rock, I believe, down to Loke. Loke dances with it, over to Tiatia. Tiatia takes this one forward in a commanding position, and it goes over to Robert Kalliope, who was able to get his head onto that one and scores the goal. And it's 1-0 for PanSa East FC. And that's, I think, in keeping with the run of play, at least with what we've seen so far. And that makes it 1-0 for us. And that's a little bit more like it. That's sort of what we were expecting coming into this match. We expect to score a lot of goals, and it took a little while for us to finally break free, but we have done so. And hopefully that will give us the boost that we need. And maybe we can get a little bit of a better performance there from Elama Atu, who I think is one of the great stars of this team. And let's just see where we go from here. I think one of the problems I had early on in the season is I was listening to the computer, to the AI, the assistant manager, a little bit too much in terms of who to start. Instead, I should have just gone with my gut instead of going with the approved recommendation. And boy, Green Bay is pretty bad. They should have had a goal right there, and that one went straight off of the post. I don't know how you hit the post from there. Twala Lele with a really poor job trying to get that header, doesn't even consider the fact that there might be another player around him. And we've been lucky so far in this match. They have missed a penalty, and they missed an absolute sitter there, and it's still 1-0 for PanSa East FC. So this isn't really filling me with a lot of confidence, but hey, maybe we will be able to score a couple more goals here. There's the cross, and it's Elama Atu, as I was saying, and that's been disallowed. He's been called for offside. And it was a good job by Kalliope. And yes, Atu was moving backwards, and that pass just happened at the wrong time. If this were hockey, he would have that would have been allowed because he was moving backwards and his momentum was carrying him across that invisible offside line. But unfortunately, this is not hockey. We'll have to find Hockey Manager 2023 for you. Palipua knocks this one out, and there's no penalty called on that. It should have been really a second penalty for Green Bay. Not sure if it would have done them that much good, though. We're allowing them to have far too much of the ball, too much possession here in our own half. Tiatia wins this over to Loke to Milani, who has a really reckless pass over to Richard Kalliope. Ikuvalu pulls it down and passes over to Palipua. Palipua looking for Maile. I'm not sure why we're playing so fast. And we just give up a goal. Marcelino Vaile, and I mean, if we're going to give up a goal, we'll go ahead and give up a, what is that, a 25 or 30-foot shot, might as well do it. But yeah, this was a pretty poor attempt. Again, we're trying to move that ball forward a little bit too quickly. We need to play a little bit more conservatively, I believe, and we need to try to play for possession instead of just giving up the ball in midfield every single time we touch it. And so here we are again with another kickoff. Palipua with it over to Twala Lele. Twala Lele takes it up here left side and lumps it forward for Richard Kalliope. Kalliope with it, and he's going to cross over there to Maile, who has a header that is right over the net. And so we've seen that one over and over again. We have seen Maile score on headers like that so far this season, but last season he definitely wasn't. And that was not exactly the best cross in the world. I think it was part of the problem. But we'll just go forward with it and see what we can do. The players still adjusting to each other. Probably Pua is going to come off here in a second. And I would say that he's been part of the problem there in the back. 1-1, and really it should not be a 1-1 match. And I'm not very happy with what I saw. So we're going to take Palipua off. We'll put Hangi Puli on and see who else we want to take off. I think that's going to be it for now, and we'll see where we get from there. And so they have the ball here to kick off here at the beginning of the second half. Let's see if we can get a couple goals in and change things around. And this ball is lumped forward, and it does absolutely nothing for them. We're able to win it again. And they have the ball here in midfield, and we're just not able to get around and to command and to take possession the way that we would like to, and really the way that we should. We have a superior team. And there's Vaeli there with the shot that Twala Lele is able to knock out for a corner, and that had Ikuvalu rolling all around the grass. And so it's a really scary moment. This is headed away. Loke running after it. He ends up, I think, winning the ball. It's going to be in the highlights. We won't be able to see very much more of this. This was a real problem, though. Now, I mean, the player's offside, but it wasn't Vaeli who was offside. It was this attacking player right here. I mean, I can see sort of what we were doing, but yeah, it wasn't very good communication on defense. And there's the header by Poli, and he barely misses that. Peyton Milani ended up being offside anyway. and we may need to take Milani off. I'm starting to think. Atu misses another shot on goal. This Atu fellow is really good and has a lot of potential. So we'll see what we can do with him. And I do think we're going to have to take have a little substitution here now. Vaili, who I would love to put on for Peyton Milani, is unfortunately no longer able to play this season. And now here comes the question: do I put Collins on once again in a role that he's not used to, or do I put somebody like I don't know, one of these other guys on? Tyler Louis, can he play on that side? No, not really. And but you know who can? Kalliopa can. So we'll put Kalliopa over there. We'll take off Milani and we'll put Fatonu on. I don't know why he keeps telling me to put on Stidolf Collins, who really can't play in any of those positions. You can see we've been playing him at left back, and I don't think he likes it very much, but he's on the bench, so he's available. This is knocked up and forward. Hangy Poli with an amazing save on that one. That's about as good as a bicycle kick, and able to save that for the time being, but then he lets his man behind him. Fortunately for us, they are called for offside, and that's the end of that one. And so let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get this ball back and see if we can get some sort of offense set up here. Toa Maele over to Kalliopa. Kalliopa brings this up left side and actually doesn't do anything with it, just sort of looks at the defender and dances around a little bit over to Tualolele and then to Toa Maele to Kalliopa, Rock, I think it was, and his pass hits the offensive player on the back of the foot. Maele there now with it over to Rock, and Rock lumps one forward and almost scores, and that was really weird. And I mean, it didn't have anything on the shot. He didn't deserve to score that, but that almost was a goal. Atu with the free kick, and that one hits into the wall and goes out for a corner. So we have another chance here. And let's see what we can do. It's Tia who's going to go near corner. Obvious what we're going to try to do, and it doesn't quite work. And Tualolele unable to get his head onto that one, and that's the end of that. It's going to be Gray here for them with the throw, and there is the cross. It goes to about nobody. Toa Maele with it, and over to Atu. Atu's got the ball. Atu brings it up left side and then puts this one forward for Maele. That's a ridiculous cross. Maele is always going to score that one. 8th goal of the season, 2-1 for PanSa East FC. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at this cross. It travels the length of the field. Look at where he passes it from. He passes it from way back there, and everybody's just sort of looking at the ball, and Maele is the first one to get to it, and he just rips the shot in, and that makes it 2-1. As long as we can do that, we'll be okay. That's one of the most ridiculous goals I've seen. I was about to take Maele out. I'm not going to do it anymore. Kalliopa with this, and he's going to lump this one forward for nobody, and this is part of the problem we've been having. One of the reasons why I was trying to get control of the passing, but I can see reasons for it, because sometimes you get ridiculous things that work. Tia with it, knocks this one forward, looking for Maele, and there's another one, and that's the reason why I didn't take him off. That's number 9 of the season, and that makes it 3-1 PanSa East FC, and we're about to win this match. It's pretty certain, and Maele just decided to wait here until the end, right before the curtain call, to make his spectacular performance. And that's a great header in between the two defending players and right over the arms of the outstretched goalkeeper. That was that same header that he couldn't get down in the first half, and all of a sudden now it's working for him. Tualolele with it, kicks over to Loke. Loke lumps this one forward again for Fatonu, and it's over to Kalliopa, and that hit off a defender. I was about to say I thought that hit off of Maele, but no, it hit off a defender right before I could get to him, or that would have been the hat trick. Kalliopa here now with the corner, finds Poli, who passes it back to him. He's got to be offside. No call. He's got to be offside, though. I mean, it's ridiculous. Atu with it, and he has his ball taken off of him. Doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. I think everybody was waiting for the offside call. I'm not sure what was going on. Maele grabs it. We just sort of kick the player and take the ball off of him. It's lumped forward to Atu, and Atu lumps that one back to Kalliopa, over to Maele, back to Rock, I think it is, who takes a shot, and it was a good idea. And here's a throw. About 10 minutes left in this match. I don't know. You think we can give up 2 goals in the last 10 minutes? I bet we could. Samulelu with it for Green Bay, and Tiatia's right behind his man, of course. And fortunately for us, that strike is off target. Oh, man. Is just football manager things. And, man, I tell you, this game will get you more worried than anything else. Ikuvalu punches instead of grabbing the ball, which is not what we want to see, and that means that they have another shot at it, and they have a whole bunch of different attempts. Fortunately for us, that one is knocked into the 10th row, and we can relax a little bit. Man. All right, here we go. We have Atu here with the corner, and this is going to go far corner. and it's lumped up over for Twalalele, who can't quite get his head onto it. Kalliope runs back and wins this one and passes over to Fatonu. Fatonu with it over to Kalliope, can't quite find him, and Richard having some troubles in the air. We've seen that problem a couple times here today. Let's see if we can get this ball back. And oh my gosh, they've got two guys in a very, very good position. And Ikuvalu does make the save, thankfully, and Tiatia goes back. Tiatia is an excellent, excellent right back. Oh man, Tiatia is really one of our star players. I think there's a good argument to be made that he's the player of the season so far. And I know that the real story is Toa Maele, who's scoring again, but Tiatia with plays like this is just really, really an all-star. We've got about 2 minutes left here of normal time, and then whatever they're going to add on for added time. And let's see what we can do with it. And lump forward, and Ikuvalu thankfully is able to read that one and go over and grab it. That was in a dangerous position. It's over there to Twalalele now. Twalalele with the ball, and he knocks this up forward for Maele. Now over to Atu. Atu passes it forward for Maele. It's another one of those, and that's the hat trick. That's the hat trick, 10th of the season. 4-1 for PanSa East FC, and we're going to be starting Atu in almost every match from here on out, and Maele is going to get a lot of starts as well. And I mean, these guys play really, really well together. You look at this. This is amazing. This is amazing. Look at where that pass is located. And, I mean, Maele has learned how to do this in his couple of years in the league. This is why you stay with the same team, because you get to see players who improve like this guy has. And he's still only, 17? Right, we've got an all-star in our hands, 10.0 rating again. How many times has he had a 10.0 in this season? It seems like every time he goes out there, he gets a 10.0. He might be tired, doesn't really matter. Tofue is, of course, offside, and this gives us just a minute left or so. There's a little lump forward for, I think that was for Richard Kalliope, who was unable to get onto that. Twalalele with it over to Rock, down to Fatonu. Fatonu looking for Maele, just cannot find him. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit too far beyond where he's playing. And there, Kalliope is going to have the ball, passes it back to Grabe, and they lump it forward, and we're going to win this one in the air. We should have won that one in the air, and instead we let them have it for some strange reason. Ikuvalu, though, was able to jump up and grab that one. That was a good shot, too. That would have gone in. There's the throw over to Kalliope, which is what I want Ikuvalu to do. And, of course, he lumps this ball forward for Maele, who passes it to the imaginary ghost man playing in front of him. Maele still trying to learn the tactic. Over to Rock. Rock over to Loke. Loke down to Fatonu. Fatonu down to Tiatia, and that is the end. That is the end of the match. I'm interested to see how much possession did we have. 56% is all. 2.52 XG, and they had a 2.26. So they played quite well, but we ended up with 29 shots, 11 on target, and again, completed a lot of our passes, and that's been our bread and butter. We played very, very well, and that was a good match by us. And we've come away with a deserved victory, and everybody in American Samoa is on notice because we are coming back. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.